Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond the Closet Door podcast. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Jorge Dav, and I am a master certified life coach. And let me tell you a little bit about this podcast. Beyond the Closet Door is a symbolic representation of moving beyond the initial act of coming out. In other words, what happens after we come out of the closet. It's about our journey. It's about self-discovery, self-acceptance, and embracing one's authentic identity. So what I want to do with this podcast is to open the doors to all the LGBTQ plus community and allies from different journeys, experiences, challenges, and triumphs to come together to share their stories and inspire others. And with that being said, I want to introduce today's guest, Earl Medina, president and founder of Orgullo, Laredo Youth and Safe Haven. Earl, thank you so much for being here today. How are you?
I am doing good. Thank you for having me, George, to be here on this special occasion, especially during Pride Month. It is an honor to be here to share what I could share and give my personal testimony so everybody could know where I come from and where I am now.
Perfect. So before I dive into the question that I have for you, because trust me, I have a lot of questions. I want to know who Earl, the person is, the professional, the fun person, the king person, absolutely everything. You told me I could ask anything, so I'm going to ask absolutely everything. But before I dive into those questions, I want to know from you, who is Earl Medina right now?
Well, Earl Medina right now is a very, let's say, hard and dependable person. By heart, I mean I'm a very hard worker. I do put a lot on my shoulders to keep myself busy. The reason why is because I love the journey and the obstacle to being the person that I am and have become, because I am here to serve not just myself, but serve the community of Laredo or anywhere where I am needed. Not only that, but Earl Medina is the person that has become very strong with his own self, mentally and visually. By that being said, meaning Earl Medina has been very successful, has been very resourceful, as well as very communicative to the community itself. So I would say that Earl has become very proud of himself to be the person that he is now, and does see, or shall I say, just foresee himself growing more and more by working alongside with a lot of people, especially with you, George, because you've been a part and a great influencer as a mentor, as a coach, and as well as a leader.
Wow, that was very nice. And I did not pay you to say that. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's really good. So before I start diving into who you are right now as a person, a professional, all your journey up to this point, I want to go back in time. And I want to ask about you early days, or I don't know if it was when you were a kid or as an adult, but when did you first become aware of your LGBTQ plus identity? When did you realize you were gay or bisexual? I don't know how you identify yourself as, but could you describe the journey of self-discovery and acceptance? As you know, there's a difference between accepting yourself, your identity, and going forward with it. A lot of people know who they are as a gay person, but don't accept it. And they don't go beyond the closet door, but they stay behind the closet door. So what was that story and journey for you?
Someone was detected at your front door.
Sorry about that. I guess I realized about my sexuality when I was around the age of 10. At that point, I really didn't know what was going on in my life. I didn't know what was going mentally. So I've kind of put it aside when I was growing up. And as I was starting middle school, going through my phases and everything, I started realizing my liking to guys, or shall I say boys at that time. But I was still hesitant because coming from a family that was born and raised in a ranch, it was kind of difficult for us because our grandparents saw us like machismos and being very enforceful of doing men's work and all that stuff. It was kind of hard for us to, well, for myself, to very, very out there. Uh, Throughout the stages of my life, I started growing and I started realizing more and more into my feelings until the age of 14. I started getting those urges of trying to recognize who I was, but still was persistent of holding back. When I came out to my family, I was 16 years old. It was very shocking and very hesitant for them to accept who I was, but I still hold it in because of the respect of how we were raised and brought into our world. When I came out to them, like I mentioned, it was very hard for them. So it took them a while to understand who I was. I was myself, to be honest. Like, I wasn't very social. I wasn't outgoing or anything at that time because Laredo at that time was very close minded. It was very held back to the sexualities of somebody coming out being gay because we didn't have the support that we have now. So I had to keep myself in the closet, to be honest. And also for the respect of my family, because I didn't want them to feel that they were around somebody like me. By me saying somebody like me, meaning because I was gay. So at the age of 17, when I graduated from high school, I took a full scholarship from Chick-fil-A to go to any college of my choice. So this was the opportunity for me to take a leap of faith and really think about spreading my wings without hesitation. It was something that I sat down with my parents and I really, opened up and I said, you know what? This is what was offered to me. And I decided to take that leap of faith. And it made me realize, where was I going to go? So when working with Chick-fil-A, the owner at that time was just brought in from El Paso. And he gave me the advice that no one else gave me, to really persist myself to think about my future. So when he went into details of what El Paso had to offer, the university and the city itself, it gave me the broads of taking that leap of faith and going to El Paso because he made it seem like, how can I say, a fairy tale. Yes, I could have gone to Houston, Austin, San Antonio, but people tell me why El Paso. It was something that opened up my eyes when I first visited it just to go see the campus. It's a whole different living, an opportunity of growth, a mentality of something different, but most importantly, a community that made me feel welcome, appreciated for who I was, and most importantly, made me the leader that I am now. As I grew myself there and started understanding my sexuality more, feeling accepted, feeling welcome, and feeling the appreciation and love of the support of the community, I started
Someone was
realizing
detected at your front door.
how this opportunity came to me, and I was blessed to grow myself for the person who I am now. Because if I wouldn't have taken that leap of faith and accepted myself for who I am, I would still be secluded in a mind that I still wouldn't understand what I am. But I guess by narrowing it down is anybody could be who they were or who they are, setting their mind and accepting who they are. But the only way for them to be successful is understanding by having the support by their loved ones as well as their friend and family.
So
But
how
most
would
importantly,
go
go
ahead?
ahead.
Go ahead.
But most importantly is taking that leap of faith and in knowing that you could become the better person by accepting who you are.
So how did that happen though? What was the point in your life once you moved to El Paso, once you were independent and you were building your own life? What was that moment when you said, okay, it's time to live my truth, my identity, and not be embarrassed by it, not be afraid, and be who I am? What happened? What was that glitch in your mind that made you realize that you had to live your life for you?
I guess what opened up my mind is my family. Like I mentioned before, Laredo was still a little close-minded at the age. This was in 1997. At that time, there was a lot of gay bashing and everything, and I didn't want to go through that and put my family in the risk of hearing their son being out there and being outed by people that didn't understand the person that they were attacking. So the leap of faith that made me realize to take that challenge to move to El Paso was to try something different, try something new, but most importantly, try to find myself for who I am. So that was the reason that I took that leap of faith and said, let's go. Let's try to find who Earl Medina is and had that experience of being independent and understanding what life had to offer for me. Because there's many obstacles out there that I could have chosen, but I needed to find myself personally because I needed to make sure that I was comfortable with it, that I love myself, I appreciate what I was doing, but most importantly, giving my family the space that they needed for them to accept me more as not just their son, but as their gay son.
Mhm. So how long did it take for them to accept that?
It took them more or less a year. For the reason why is because they finally realized that their son, more importantly, their baby,
Someone was detected at your front
was
door.
not living at home anymore.
Please don't tell me that it's a hookup, Earl.
No,
Okay, go on.
no, it's my neighbors.
Okay.
But no, that was more the safety, just to ensure that I was more persistent on it. And it's like I said, it took my family, but most importantly, my parents, a year for them to accept for who I was, because they knew that I could do it on my own, that I could protect my own, and most importantly, that I was safe.
So that was the source of their not acceptance. It was because they wanted to protect you and they didn't want you to suffer, right? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, that is correct.
Got it.
Yes, that is correct.
So after that year, when you moved to El Paso, 1 year goes by, they realize everything they had to realize. They accepted you as their gay son. And then when did you move back to Laredo and live your truth in Laredo after?
I didn't come back to Laredo, you could say, back until 2010 It took me close to almost 12 to 11 years to come back home. Yes, I would visit, but it wasn't a period that I would stay for a month or two. It was just for more or less 4 to 7 days, and I would go back to my life. By my life, meaning my work life, my school, but most importantly, still exploring who I was. It took me a while to understand my sexuality because it was the insurance of making sure that I was going to be safe. But sooner or later, as I came to visit Laredo, I started realizing how openly it started growing and accepting the LGBT community more and more, that I started realizing that it was safe to come back home. But the reason I came back home wasn't because it was time for me to come and be who I was over here in Laredo. The reason I came back to Laredo is because, as many people had those obstacles, a family member gets sick or ill. And you come back home to ensure that everything is fine. And then you realize, you know what? It's better for me to continue my life here in Laredo. And that's why I decided to stay here. But then I started realizing how the LGBT community started growing little by little, seeing the cases that have been out there and the acceptance that has been involved, that gave me the opportunity to be where I am now, because where I've been, where I was, opened up my mind and my eyes to a better understanding of what we could do to change Laredo better.
So, what would you say to someone who is struggling with their own LGBTQ plus identity or is facing challenges within their own community?
I would say don't give up hope. Don't lose it, because there is somebody out there to hear you out. There's a lot of allies. There's a lot of support now, that you cannot be afraid to show who you are. You are the person you are. You are the person that became who you are. But most importantly is love yourself for who you became, because it's special. Everyone holds a big part in their own heart, but most importantly, you have the support from anyone around you. Just know that your family, your friends, your coworkers, and your future peers will be there to support you in the challenges that you're going to face. So never close the door, always open it, and always open up your heart, your mind, and your soul, because you will have that, more or less, what can I say, not just your confidence, but the ability to grow and become stronger.
There you go, everyone. You heard it right here. So I'm pretty sure all of those led to build your character and who you are now as a professional. So I want to talk a little bit about your professional life. What are some of the projects you're working on?
Well, just about a year ago, I started Orgullo Laredo Youth and Safe Haven. As you mentioned in the beginning, I am the president and founder of this nonprofit organization to help the youth, the parents, and anyone out there, to help them, educate them, give them the support that they need, give them the alliance that they're looking for, and making sure that we're building our community to a safer place. The reason I decided to bring this organization into play is not only because of the past experiences and places and organizations that I work with, but it kept my mind in saying, we need this in Laredo, because we need the support from anyone that we can. As Laredo keeps on growing and we're finding a lot of people and children struggling to have the support that they need, we decided to create this organization to make it feel that everyone is welcome, everyone is being heard, but not most importantly is having a friend to talk to. But the reason I became the person that I am now is because of all of you. All of you opened my eyes to become the person to give you the support, but not most importantly, the love that everyone deserves. And that's what the community builds. And that's what our organization does. Gives you the alliance, the confidence, as well as the support that anyone needs out there, especially the counseling that we could offer.
So can you talk a little bit more about what inspired you to pursue this current career path?
What inspired me to grow this career path is my fellow colleagues. My colleagues before, my friends before, and have now have given me the support to build this organization from down up, but most importantly, giving me the hand to open up my eyes more to what we could offer the community. Without them, I wouldn't be standing. I would still be focusing on just myself, which honestly, little by little, I am focusing on myself, but also I'm focusing on the community to help it become a better place and making sure that everybody understands that they're not alone.
What are some of the biggest highlights so far that you have experienced in this new career path since you started the organization?
I guess some of the challenge was knowing who we could go to and get the support. Yes, Laredo still has a challenge of having the support and the allies out there, but is making sure that we are being heard and knowing that somebody out there knows that they have a place to come to, get the advice that they could, get the support that they can, but most importantly, make them feel welcome, safe, loved, appreciated, and cared for. So those have been the challenges in making sure that we've been getting the support from our council members, from our mayors, from our city officials, but most importantly, from the friends and family out there to support us to become who we are now.
Don't forget to forward this link to them so they can hear this. And how about highlights or anything that pops in your head, any story that you would like to share about something amazing that happened since you started the organization?
The amazing part of starting this organization is the support that I've had from the city of Laredo. The city of Laredo has given me so much opportunities and has opened a lot of doors for us to be out there and going supporting the community by speaking at the high schools, making sure that the students are aware that this organization is out there for them, not only just for the LGBT community, but for the parents, for any gender out there that needs somebody to talk to. We are here to support them in many highlights that we can. But the highlights that has given me the opportunity is having the opportunity to speak in front of the Texas A&M International University class of 2023 and giving them my bio of who I am, what made me become for who I am, and what were the challenges of being gay in our society. And that was a highlight for me because it gave me the opportunity and opened a lot of doors that we stand here today to push a proclamation for Orgullo Laredo Youth and Safe Haven in the near future by collaborating with the mayor and the city officials as well.
So for those people in the audience that are listening to this podcast, that they're hearing, yes, Orgullo Laredo Youth and Safe Haven, in a few words, tell them how the organization can help them and where they can reach the organization for assistance.
Well, you could follow us on our Facebook page, Youth in Safe Haven, or you could also follow us at www.orgullolaredo.org. We have a lot of resources around the city. We are partner up with the City of Laredo Health Department. We're a partner up with Pillar. We're partner up with Mike's Purpose. And we're also partner up with 998, which is the suicide awareness, a hotline call. But you could also find us in various locations. But most importantly, you could find us the most in Facebook. But our highlights for us to give to the community is the support, the education, but most importantly is the finding their passion out there, because there's a lot of opportunities to give to Laredo, and we're still learning to offer those opportunities. But we want to hear what Laredo wants. Well, most importantly, we want to hear what our community wants us to bring to Laredo. Not only just a parade, not only just a festival, not only just to celebrate Pride Month, because we celebrate Pride Month every year, because we accept each other every single day. But most importantly is having somebody to hear you. Pride is not just to be celebrated in June, but it's to be celebrated all year round. But most importantly, we want to hear what we could bring for you for Laredo, and we want to hear Laredo's voice to see what we could do to make it better for you.
Perfect. So if you are an individual out there that needs assistance or would like to know more about the organization, you can send Orgullo Laredo Youth in Safe Haven a private message, write a post, or whatever you need to do to reach them. And also, if employers out there, organizations, businesses would like to collaborate or to work with Orgullo Laredo, you can also send them a message so they can start a conversation and see how you can collaborate and move forward to assist the Laredo and surrounding areas communities. Good. Now, with that being said, so I know, Earl, that you are in Orgullo Laredo, obviously. I know that you have your job that pays the bills. You have a career that is your passion. How do you balance that personal life with your professional life?
Well, that's a good question for you to ask. I just try to balance everything that I can. Like, not only just I have my own job that pays the bills, but of course I do have this nonprofit organization, as you all know, Orgullo Laredo Youth in Safe Haven, which we call it OLISH. But I'm also part of representing Council Member Ruben Gutierrez in District 5 with the Drug and Alcohol Commission, as well as the Suicide Prevention Committee, to support and give Laredo the support that they need, but also keep alert of what we could do to make Laredo safe. We want to ensure that we are getting all these information to support as much as we can. So yes, I have a busy schedule. It's very tight for me. But not only that, guys, yes, you got to make time for yourself, because you have to have that time. You have to have that break. But I challenge myself because I keep myself busy. I try to make, I guess you could say, I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt that I could challenge myself to any obstacles, and I have. Because not only that, we're also in charge of Phoenix Empire Productions, which takes care of the USA gay pageantry here in Laredo, Texas, which is another obstacle that it's a challenge for us. I do have a busy schedule, as George knows, and I make time to give everybody the attention that they need, because like I mentioned before, we didn't have this back then. And being here now, I want to offer what I can to the community, and to support not only myself, support you guys, as well as support our life coach and give them everything that we can to keep on striving for the best and give you what we could offer to.
Earl, I know you're doing a lot, and thank you for sharing that because a lot of people don't realize. I mean, I see your post about drag queen show, taboo, but they don't know absolutely what's going on behind doors to get to that post. There's a lot going on, not only on your personal life, but all the different dots that you need to connect for an event to happen. Please tell everyone that is listening to us everything that needs to happen in order for a show to actually happen, because I don't think they have the slightest idea of what happens behind doors.
So technically what happens back doors is having the support from our own community, guys. That's the only thing we ask, not only from Laredo, but of our surrounding cities and states all over the United States, is knowing that no has anything that they could offer, but most importantly, the support that there is by joining forces with the allies that we have in our surrounding cities. For instance, the Miss and Mr. Gay Laredo, Texas, USA, 2003, as well as the Miss and Mr. Gay USA, Laredo, Texas, USA at large, 2023. That is something that a lot of people need to be aware that we're here to support all the promoters, as well as the performers, the contestants, and all the drag queens out and the kings out there, because without them, it wouldn't make the party a party. Yes, I love to be around all that because we're allies for anything. And we need to make sure that everybody's being appreciated what they do, but also what they're offering and showing the passion that they have for what they do. And it wasn't for them, if it wasn't for us, if it wasn't for anybody, we all would not be successful in putting the love that we could give to one another.
Yeah. So it takes a lot. It's just not like they get up one morning and say, why don't we just throw an event and see what happens? I mean, it takes a lot of work. Now, you mentioned something really important about those kings and queens that would like to participate. What would you say to someone that is having second doubts about participating for whatever the reason will be? What would you tell someone that is just very close to maybe wanting to participate, but is having second doubts?
What I would tell them, and it's like I mentioned to one of the queens that was having doubts to compete, everybody has a unique talent out there. Never feel scared that you will not survive or you will not impress the judges or the crowd out there. Show all the might that you can, the brilliant talent that you have within you, and show the love and the passion that you enjoy it. Because whether you win or lose, you're always going to be a winner for someone's eyes. But most importantly, you're going to give it your 100% because you're going to learn from the wins and the mistakes that everybody goes through. So never feel that you are not ready, because you never know that you could become the next queen or king supporting your city, but most importantly, heading your way to perform in front of hundreds of people and try to earn that state title. And who knows, you might be the state winner representing us, and then you might be thinking of heading to Miss Gay USA. So what I give them most importantly is follow your heart. Never feel that you're never ready, because inside you, there's going to be a hidden talent that you never know. So always follow your heart, always follow your mind, and never say, I can't do it.
That's right. You heard it here again. It's not about whether you have talent or not. It's about whether understanding what your talent is and understanding how to practically expose it in a very creative way to get that crown. So queens and kings, if you are doubting out there, please don't, and just take a risk and just do it. The worst that can happen, you don't get the crown, but you'll get the experience that will get you closer to the crown the next year or for other pageants. So please don't be afraid to step out and beyond the closet door. Very important. And of course, ask people and friends to help you with the attires because that can be very expensive. I mean, I'm just haven't participated, but I can only assume based on what they are wearing is crazy beautiful. So just be creative and you can make it work. So now let's go to our next part in this podcast. What can you share with us, a secret or fun fact about yourself that most people don't know?
Well, what can I say? I'm a very ordinary person. A lot of people think that I put so much, well, a lot of people say that I put so much on my shoulders, but most importantly is I never feel alone because I have the love and support of all my friends and family out there that I couldn't be for where I am now. And I appreciate everything that they do, that they give me, and most importantly, the support that I've earned. Because support is not given, it is earned by showing them that you could do it. But the deepest, darkest secret, and I know he's going to ask me later, is yes, I've been single for almost 9 years. It's not by choice. It's just my mentality has been around the world and ensuring that not only I'm taking care of myself and finding and clearing all the mistakes that I've done in the past, but most importantly, knowing that my family is well taken care of. And lastly, ensuring that my health is more important because without my health, I wouldn't be alive.
Earl, you know I respect you and like you a lot. I love the Miss Universe answer, but I really want to ask more directly. Pretend this is a grinder. What are you looking for?
Oh, wow. I didn't hear the grinder noise, but okay. Honest, honestly, if I'm looking for somebody and if somebody's looking to reach out to me, I'm just looking for somebody that's willing to support me emotionally, affectionately, but most importantly, be there for me for whenever I have a hard time. I'm still coping. Last year, my brother passed away and it was kind of hard for me because he was the closest thing that I had for the support that I needed. I'm like, he was the first one that knew that when I came out to him. And it took a toll for me because I bottled a lot of emotions and it's very hard for me to open to anyone because of all the projects that I do. But for me, I would appreciate if somebody would be there for me emotionally, spiritually, because without that support, I wouldn't keep on moving forward. But I'm not picky. That's one for sure, because I know somebody's going to ask. But most importantly is just as long as they care for me for who I am, I really don't have a preference, but it's more the support.
Okay, first of all, sorry about the passing about your brother. I'm pretty sure you'll live your life through him. He's living his life through you. That's a very heavy thing to deal with and to experience. But I'm sure that is only making you stronger, as difficult as it may sound. Now, 9 years being single, you not being picky, that sounds contradictory. So let's pretend, okay? Scenario. We are on an app, dating app, right? You want to call it Growler, you want to call it Grinder, you want to call it Tinder. I can name it all. Okay, I can name it all. So just pretend it's one of those. Facebook, dating, whatever you want. So what are you looking for, Earl Medina, for a relationship or a hookup?
Well, I can't answer a hookup, but I guess what I'm looking for is somebody to go out with, whether it's movies, dinner, just somebody to have a good time, get to know, and build a great relationship to see where it leads in the future. Yeah, we all have our urges that we want to meet somebody for a quick hookup and anything, but nothing like that is special because it's just like it's let's say it's old fashioned, just a common one night stand. But if I was truly looking for somebody, it's somebody that I want to get to know, understand what they're looking for, but most importantly, what they really care for most is it a hookup or they're looking for somebody to finally take things seriously.
So for all your Gen Z's translation, that means that we're golden girls, so we're not into. We're looking for substance, not just a quick thing. So that's pretty much what it means, which totally understandable, which is true. So there you go, everyone. If you are interested in going out on a date, maybe I'll switch this podcast for a dating podcast. You never know. Maybe you'll find the love of your life in here. I'm telling you. And by the way, Earl, he is my baby's daddy, which by the way, Earl, you're way behind on your child support because my baby is growing out very, very, very fast. So anyway, so he's not looking for a sugar baby. He's not looking for a sugar daddy. He's just looking for someone that lives his life truthfully, who is responsible, who is mature, has emotional intelligence, is stable. Am I right?
You're correct.
And if he fucks good, that's a different story. It's a big plus. But we're not going to get into that. That's a different story. So good. Well, thank you so much for being here today. It's been fun. We got to know you a little bit better, your professional life, your personal life, what you like, what you don't like, all your work that you're doing, which is fascinating to hear from you. And it's a different story. I don't know if it happens to you, but I have some people on my life coaching Facebook page and I see their posts and you get to know people based on their posts, but you just get to see a little part of who they are, not the whole thing. So I've seen your posts. I see what you post. I see the professional you based on your post, but it's so interesting to hear the human being behind the post, which is what I wanted this podcast to be, to see the person, to see the human aspect of that post. So thank you. And one question for you before we go and any last parting words. What advice would you say to someone who is struggling with their own LGBTQ plus identity or is facing challenges with their own community?
What I could do is never feel that you have closed doors. There's always an open door anywhere out there if you look at the right places. Don't be afraid to get into any social media and search for any communities out there or allies that have specific educational pieces that they could offer or people that could offer assistance to give you the advice that you look. Never feel discouraged. If you feel that your community does not offer those resources, always reach out to anywhere out in the world and they'll give you the support that you need. Never feel discouraged. You're not alone. It's like I tell everybody, even the youth, you're not alone. There is somebody out there that is experienced or has experienced what you're going through. Reach out. Let us hear your testimony and let us help you become stronger and feel confident of yourself. But most importantly, love yourself. But if you don't have that support, always find it somewhere else because you're never going to have a closed door anywhere. Just know that find us, at www.orgullolaredo.org or reach us out on our Facebook. And you could find me on my personal Facebook under Earl Medina, or you could reach us out on the Orgullo like page and we could go ahead and reach out to you. But if you want to go ahead and talk to us and be there in person, come and visit us on June 25th. It's a Sunday from 9 p.m. till 2 a.m. and support us for the Miss and Mr. Gay Laredo, Texas, USA 2023 so we could crown 3 queens and 2 kings and send them up to state in August and in October. Thank you very much, George, for having me on board. And I could hope to speak to any of you soon. And don't be afraid to say hi because I don't bite. I might look intimidating, but I don't bite. I'm here to hear you out. And you could always voice me out because I'm always available 24/7 and not for hookups, just so you know.
Damn. Well, you never know. Maybe with a couple of drinks, he'll bite, and maybe you never know. So count your blessings. So thank you so much, Earl. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hopefully we'll do this again. We can have another conversation in the future to talk about more future projects that you're working on. I will see you guys on the event, well, virtually, and hope you have fun. Good luck to all the contestants, participants, everyone that will go there. Please go there. It'll be very fun. And good luck to everyone. Any last words that you would like to say?
All I want to say is thank you, everybody, for listening and taking the time for listening our gibberish. But this gibberish is not just anything. Just know that we're here to support you guys. We're here to hear you out. We're here to give you the love and appreciation and the advice that we can because we've been in your shoes. And we know that we're all not perfect, but we're here to make this world and this community a better and safer place, especially here in Laredo. So once again, thank you for all the love, all the support, and all the allies out there. But most importantly, thank you, George, for giving me the opportunity to be here with you. And I hope we could do this soon.
All right. Thank you, Earl. I'll see you soon. And thank you, everyone. And don't forget to live beyond the closet door. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.